Good morning and welcome back for more legal advice here on our Ask an Attorney segment with Mike Kuna from Kuna Law Firm PLLC. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Sophia.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So this week's question is, Dear Mr. Kuna, my husband and I have been watching your show for quite a while and have been enjoying it immensely. We would love for you to give an explanation about Jewish law, mostly ancient but modern as well. Thank you so much for all your fun and interesting segments.
Wow, that is a very complicated question to answer. Well, first, let's separate between Jewish law and Israeli law, especially ancient Israeli law and modern day Israeli law, because it's not the same country. In the past, Jewish people had Judaic law, Greek law, and even Roman law. Sophia, do you know what's the legal system today in Israel?
Common law.
Yes.
Because of the British.
Right, impressive. So the Brits had a mandate in Israel before the Second World War, and the beginning of Israel in 1948, after the Second World War, continued the very existence of Israeli law, which actually kept a lot of the common law heritage from the Brits. We have to separate it from actual Jewish law. Jewish law is called halacha in Hebrew. What does halacha mean? It means the path that we walk. And just as it means, Jewish people treat Jewish law as actual ordinance of how to live. Jewish law is very encompassing, whether it's how to clip your nails, grow your beard, who you should marry, how you should raise your crops, everything, how you should do business, the amount of prayers you need to pray, it's all within Jewish law. Jewish law started initially in the Bible itself, in the Old Testament. In the Old Testament, we had 613 commandments, 248 commandments of you shall do, and 365 commandments of you shall not do. Now, except for those commandments, we had a lot of interpretations and traditions. How did it work? Well, there are two forms of law, the law that's in the Bible and the law that was written by rabbis. The law that's in the Bible is called Deoraita, and the law that was written by the rabbis is called Derabanan. The law that was written in the Bible clearly takes precedent. However, the law of the Derabanan is also considered a commandment that you must follow, or in Hebrew, a mitzvah. These laws are separated into two forms. We have gzerot, which is basically a fence around the law, meaning that if you cannot work on Saturday, for example, you shouldn't carry a hammer because then you might be tempted to work. And we have takanot, coming from the root of the word tiken, meaning to fix, and that means to fix the world, such as let's study the Bible on Tuesday or on Wednesday. And also the third form of the Rabbanan laws is minhagim, meaning customs, because for thousands of years we had a bunch of customs that developed from people who had themselves kept the Bible and the Word of God. When it comes to the actual written word, explaining everything that I just gave you an example of, after the Bible, there was a collection of 6 books called the Mishnah that was written to summarize all the laws in the Bible. A few centuries later, the Talmud was written with approximately thousands of opinions and interpretations of the Mishnah itself. Later on, after the time of the Talmud, we had the Mishnah Torah that again summarized everything written prior to that, and then we had the book of Torah. Up until the 16th century, when finally Shulchan Aruch was written. And in Shulchan Aruch, we had a summary of all the laws and all the interpretation of both the Jews who migrated to European countries and the Jews that migrated into the Middle Eastern and African countries. And that had been followed for approximately 400 years. However, we also have to remember responsa, which are questions and answers that people have been asking their rabbis for approximately 3,000 years, and the rabbis have been answering. Modern questions and answers are clearly easier to read, but we can also read the ancient ones as we have records of those. Complicated issue, I'll be glad to discuss it directly. Call me 701-404-7768.
Well, that was wonderful. Thank you for that little lesson. If you have any legal questions, you can go to our website at valleynewslive.com and click on Ask the Attorney tab.